Good morning, guys. Yeah, nice gap up on Baba. Not a bad one. Um, I still have my shares from 159 bucks, and then I recently added this 167 level, and I took some trims off 178. So we're just sitting in there for now, and well, let's hope this thing can make its way to 200 bucks. Do I like iron? Okay, so iron I really liked yesterday. Similar story with Cypher. Unfortunately, I tried this one in here and at 17 bucks. And I took some off 18, 24, and then I ended up just taking my stop out at flat the next day. But yeah, another really nice move. I think a lot of these names might be ready, dude. I think they might be ready and they might be trying to go higher. I don't know. We have FOMC today, so I don't want to get too aggressive, but the one I currently own is Hut. So, and we are breaking out at the moment. Hut was pretty straightforward. Just a little reclaim of VWAP. That's all. Have I explored consumer staples? XLP, if I'm not mistaken. Let me just pull up the XLP. Let's take a look at a few. I mean, I know that they're performing well. You know, like Monster Beverage is crushing it, but it's slow. Yeah, Monster Beverage is doing really well, but slow. Walmart, not one that I'm going to trade. WMT. Costco, I know, has made a really big bounce back. Definitely not going to trade that. Procter and Gamble, I'd rather not. Philip Morris, we probably all need a cigarette with the way this market's been. Yeah, nah, I'm probably not going to trade it, to be honest with you. I don't really like to see consumer staples doing well either. You know, consumer staples is normally something that happens when the market's actually in a defensive stance. You know, plus the dollar's been going down, plus emerging markets are leading. I mean, it's like I'd like to say it's super bullish, right? And then you've got finance stocks coming down, XLF. I'd like to say it's super bullish out here, but there are some things that are slightly concerning, and it's the XLF going down. It's consumer staples doing well. Just thought I'd throw that out there. Um, Thoughts on RR, massive volume dilution packed with Microsoft? Yeah, a lot going on. For the record, that dilution is kind of small, right? Let me just make sure. But RR traded $350 million yesterday. They're diluting like sub 40 billion. I mean, you know, it's a tenth of the daily average volume. So, I mean, not that big a deal. Yeah, I like PL. I thought PL may be an entry yesterday. I like Rocket Lab. This one was on. These were all on Sunday's watch list. And again, how do you get involved into some of this stuff? A reclaim of the 20-day and a 5-minute opening range break. That's about the only real way that you're going to be able to buy some of this stuff. Otherwise, you know, you're dealing with kind of tricky entries trying to buy breakouts, right? Breakouts really haven't been working. They've been getting sold into. So I think 8 days for iron's enough to at least push it far away enough for the average to be able to hold it. Riot, not so bad either. Riot looks pretty good and gapping up as well. I mean, the one that I'm in is Hut. And for the record, I've tried Iron and I've tried Cypher. It was just a little too much chop for me to do anything with it. The SMH, yeah, you've got some names acting really, really well. Gapping up quite a bit. Probably something to do with STX, something to do with the gap up in MU. It's up 13, 14 points. You worried about starting a position in these break? Yeah, that's what I'm saying. I have not really been one for buying breakouts right now. Right? The moment you think you're going to buy a breakout in Amphenol and you're buying it just a couple days before earnings, you're getting absolutely murdered. I don't know if I'm going to short gold myself. I'm going to focus more so on silver. But we'll see. We'll see. I still have my NEM position, so it's just a matter of trimming this thing off as it keeps going higher. Galaxy, not bad. Galaxy's another data center stock that looks pretty dang good. Galaxy, NBIS, CoreWeave, HUT, APLD, Cypher, Iron. There's a lot going on. Thoughts on SIDU? I mean, probably not one that I'll trade. Maybe taking out a prior day high could be good. 390. You just don't seem to find any good setup. That's not, I think it's like the way you're getting involved, but like, there are still, like I talked about ALAB on Sunday's watch list video, getting involved against the 50-day, right? That would be a really easy way to get involved in something like that. Cypher, reclaiming the 50. I talked about this one as well. All these names have been on the watch list. GEV, similar story, although kind of gapping down. 694 is the spot. Galaxy, similar story. Right? All these names were on the watch. KTOS taking out a prior day high. That one was good yesterday. A lot of names were good yesterday. Tons. It's just, again, how are we getting involved? We have to make small adjustments in real time when you recognize that breakouts maybe aren't working, but you still want to get involved in a market that's acting well. Yeah, I mean, data center related stocks. I mean, yeah, I'm not really sure. Obviously, the memory stocks are what's winning. AS, Amer Sports. Yeah, I mean, it's got to break out over 40. Seems like that's what it's got to get going over. We'll see if that's what it does. You're not sure you like. Well, we have a FOMC today, so we have FOMC today. I don't think the QQQ is necessarily toppy. I think the QQQ has done exactly what it's supposed to. Big move up, and then a nice long consolidation. right? It's literally been going sideways for, I don't know, since end of October. Prim, not an ugly looking chart. A little bit longer to finish out this high tight flag. Just a touch longer to finish out the high tight flag, but not bad. $103 million a day, so plenty liquid, moves almost 4% per day, and is in the engineering and construction group along with PWR, DY. DY doesn't look bad. PWR doesn't look bad. Not bad. Not bad. I think that one looks pretty good. HII, not familiar with this one, I don't think. Oh, wow. Look at this thing. Absolute monster. A little extended from the 50 is what it looks like. Yeah, super extended from the 50. Almost 7 times its ATR from the 50. You probably got to leave that one alone. Nah, CG, you're starting to get a little too slow. Yeah, YPF, not bad. Not bad. Remember, too, the group that YPF is in at the moment. It's also an oil and gas stock, too. So, and oil and gas, if you look at crude oil, is upticking. So, that's going to help. Could Bitcoin be the next silver? I thought Bitcoin was gold. I thought people were promising that Bitcoin was gold, digital gold, and Ethereum was digital silver. What's going on here, dude? That's what I was promised. And no, I don't really see the reason why money has to go to Bitcoin when it leaves the metals. Why can't it go to crude oil stocks? Right? Why does it have to go to Bitcoin? I keep hearing that a lot, and maybe it'll happen. But why does it have to? Right? It doesn't have to do that at all. I'm actually watching I'm watching the dollar today, right? I'm going to see if the dollar, everybody and myself included are looking at, the dollar and seeing if it just broke out of this channel. And I think everybody talked about how, the dollar this, dollar that being devalued, and everybody's onto the same thing. So if the dollar snaps back, then that's probably when I'd short silver and the metals, but who knows? We'll see. The newest position that I'm in is HUT. Baba's another one that I recently got that's still working from middle of January. My thoughts on Sedge. I think there are better within the solar space, but who knows? Maybe when it takes out yesterday's highs. Any software names I'm interested in shorting? I was looking at CrowdStrike yesterday against this 50 day, but I didn't take it. I was a little late to the party. By the time I was like, yeah, should I take it? And no. But Zscaler continues to be pretty bad. Rubrik continues to be pretty bad. What's the other one that continues to be pretty rough? I did see Net. That one was fine. PanW doesn't look all that awesome. How would you play AMD? I kind of was looking at this thing yesterday, and I was thinking maybe over a prior day high. My only problem is I would hope for a little bit more digestion. Like this is a nice cup, but want a little bit more handle. We'll see if today we can just break under yesterday's highs and then turn back around. But we have FOMC today. So before we all get too aggressive on brand new positions before, a super volatile event, I think, it's probably good that we wait a moment. PDYN, big gap up on this thing. ASTS off the moving average, off the 10-day. Yeah, it seems to be the way to get involved into these things versus buying breakouts. You try to buy a breakout and then it's just not working. Or you'll get round trip down just a couple days later. ONDS. Oh, yeah. I mean, technically that ceiling's all the way at 15, but not bad. Not bad. I didn't actually catch the news this morning. TTD, there should be no reason to even have that on your radar. It's below the 200-day. Shopify, similar story. This thing is super weak recently. No real reason to keep this thing on the radar at all, unless you're trying to play it as a bounce off the 200, in which case, fine. Hut buying it today, if you own it from lower, maybe, kind of where I'm in at, but I don't know that I would be going to buy Hut up here. Maybe. It's just we've been getting a lot of chop around pivots and, kind of taking this as a breakout feels like a good way to get chopped up. Do I use? No, not really. I mean, there are times that I'm looking at like the leaders for the day on FinViz, but I also use Deep View too. TTMI, that's so ugly, man. It's just nothing really wrong with it, actually. Man, I thought TTMI was kind of decent down here too. Not bad off the 50-day. Yep. Yeah, gold is in its gold is in a vertical move at the moment too. Thoughts on Marvell? This one's always kind of been a laggard in the semi space. Yeah, it's a laggard, dude. Look at this thing. Look at this thing, and then look at like an LRCX, right, or a KLAC, or an ASML, or an AMD, or a MPWR. I mean, there's just so many others that just look way better than Marvell. Yeah, the FLNC was definitely buyable against this 50-day too. I don't think there's anything to do with it. You've been in this since the 9th? Oh, beautiful. Damn near right off the 50. Perfect. Beautiful. I mean, there's nothing to do. I'm assuming you've already trimmed this. I mean, look, it was valid because of what it did in after the fact, but I'm not normally a buyer of something when it's already up 22%. Like by the time I noticed this thing in pre-market, it was up 22%, and I'm not really buying RR up here. So But if you smartly caught the dip against prior day high, and then you bought this kind of as it turned back around 430s, fine. Do I like Bloom Energy here? I know they got a 207 price target increase this morning. I'm hopeful that we just go sideways a little bit more, couple more days. I wish I would have bought this on the reclaim of the 50-day, but I didn't. Yeah, I looked at SIDU. Not one I'll be trading, but smaller accounts maybe. Can I explain all of my entry tactics? Yeah, moving average reclaims, 5-minute opening range breaks over prior day high and over the range high. And that's about it. And undercut and rallies, in which case I'll use a 620 setup. So there's only really so many ways that you can actually buy something, right? It's a matter of where and what tactic you're using at what time and why you're using that tactic depending on the market that you're trading in, right? If breakouts aren't really working, I'm really not looking for range breaks. So I'm looking for undercut and rallies. I don't think I'll be taking any new positions pre-FOMC. Yeah, I saw APH. I mean, I thought the earnings were fine. It was a nice beat. It was good, but it was a little bit extended. You're one day out from earnings, and had a nice move. And anybody who bought yesterday is in pain today, which is exactly why I don't buy one day before earnings, or 2, or 3, or 4. I mean, I need at least minimum 4 days, and then into a push, I'll be out most. If I don't get a push, I'll just cut the whole thing. Having a hard time going from position to swing trading. I mean, I want to be a position trader, but a stock has to keep me in long enough to be one. Simple, right? Like I think XOM will end up being a position trade. I mean, at the moment, Netflix is a short, but a position trade. I mean, NEM is turning out to be a position. By position trade, do you just mean more than a month? So, well, that's not entirely true. Breakouts are working. It's just where are they working? SNDK worked really well. MU has worked really well. Rocket Lab has been working, right? PL has been working from the earnings gap up. I mean, there are names that have been working and they've been working well. All right. A Monster has been working. Again, like where are you focused on? That's the $1 million question. My NEM has been working. Kinross has been working. Right? AEM had a nice breakout. Right? This has been working. But it's like you can't just blatantly say breakouts aren't working. They are working. It's easier to just say, I'm not catching the breakouts. Right? And the same goes for me. I'm not catching all of the breakouts. I'm getting chopped around trying to get into things that I think are going to break out. But it's just so choppy that buying the breakout leads to some choppiness versus, buying a pullback against an ascending moving average helps me limit my risk a whole lot more. But yeah, buying breakouts are working. It's just where are you buying breakouts? Thoughts on iron correction? I think the correction looks like it might be done. I think the correction looks like it might be done. ONDS, yeah, I won't be buying that one, Gavin. Form, I think this is a semi name too. Yeah, gapping up on the back of some strength in semis. You have earnings in just a couple of days. This SATS doesn't look bad. It's also gapping up this morning too. A little extended from the 50, but it does look good. Clean Spark, probably the last one in this sector that not the last one, but this isn't the one I would go after. Not when you've got, something as strong as Wolf, right? Or Iron or Hut or APLD or any of the others. A lot of strength. Yep. Yeah, I could have bought Cypher back yesterday. I was looking right at it, but unfortunately I didn't buy it. About 1680s would have been the spot. Would have been a nice $2 push. Could have trimmed some off into that yesterday and then just let the rest work. It's not that I'm saying they aren't working. They are working. It's just a matter of where are you getting involved. They are working. Right? I mean, it's just a matter of where. My NEM is working. My BABA is working. Hut might be working. My XOM is working. My NEM is working. I mean, things are working. So, but where are you? How are you getting involved? Buying a breakout is choppy. Buying pullbacks into ascending moving averages, a whole heck of a lot easier. But I didn't buy a pullback into an ascending moving average on BABA. I bought the gap up back over the 50-day when it broke out of this falling wedge. So I can't just say blatantly they're not working. It's where are you buying them that is making the big difference. Cypher might still be buyable. I'm hopeful for a little bit of a morning flush, and then maybe we take out prior day high. GSAT, is this one a little bit of a laggard within the sector? It might be. This is feeling a lot like NXT here. Starting to feel a lot like NXT. This is like the 10th time I've been asked about SIDU, so I guess we'll take a look at it one more time. I just don't love it yet. I mean, I have a hard time trading these super, super volatile stocks that just went up 500%. I mean, not bad. What's the entry? 390? Looks like that's what it would have to be. You got out of NXT consolidation. Why didn't you buy this over 93.5? It kept rejecting 93.5. 93.5 was definitely the spot. Nah, CRDO's too weak. Too many names within the group acting well. Look, it could very well go. It could be bouncing off of this support area, but it's just too weak. Correct, Scott. It's just being way more selective on your entry tactics. It's not that things aren't going. It's just where are you getting involved? What are my general thoughts about weekly large cup and handles? What is the weight you get? I mean, they're great. The bigger the time frame, the better. Oklow's trash. Throw that one in the garbage. IREN's fine. Could have been bought yesterday. Should have been bought yesterday with Cypher. NBIS also weak. No, it's in the right group. I mean, I don't want to call it weak, right? This thing has made a pretty big move up. It's got a nice double bottom base. It's back above the 50 simple moving average, which is very important. And it's in a group that's acting pretty well, right? CoreWeave, NBIS, Cypher, Iron, Hut, Wolf. Well, I own Hut myself. Why Cypher? Dude, they're all in the same group, man. It's the same thing. If APLD and Hut and Iron keep going, Cypher's going to work, and so is Wolf. I mean, they're all just in the same group. It's tomato, getting involved in them on the right day. I mean, of course, some are better, but a lot of these names don't really have great earnings and sales. So you're not really playing them for their great earnings and sales. You're playing them because they're in a group that's showing a bunch of stocks acting well. Yeah, Carvana's interesting. Nice flat base. GGAL. I think this thing looks good. My only problem, unfortunately, is that it's too thin. Yeah, Jumia. Again, my only problem with Jumia for me is that it's too thin. Wish I could play some of these names, man. Jumia. It trades 35 million bucks a day. Yeah, I mean, it's just got to reclaim the 20-day. That's all it looks like it's got to do. Rocket Lab looks interesting. Again, a pullback today and then a reclaim of prior day high. Not bad. ASTS isn't bad. Rocket, another interesting one for sure. Again, got to reclaim the 20 simple moving average in a bit. It's got to get going. UMAC, is this a drone stock? I think this is a little sloppy still, though. This has just been a little sloppy. BWXT, yeah, that's they make like components for nuclear facilities. Nice cup and handle. Man, if this could just continue tightening up just a little bit and then take out highs, I think this BWXT actually looks really good. Fabernet, yeah, not bad. FN, maybe an inside day. InnoData, I mean, if there is one that's actually the weakest of the bunch, it might be an InnoData, right? It's just hanging out still. I mean, nice bull flag, I guess, but how many more days is it just going to chop around like this? FIGR is interesting. Tons and tons of strength, and this one would be neat if we can just yank into the 20 and then play a little 20 simple moving average UNR. Yeah, fly hot sector. Yeah, fly is definitely in the hot sector. Aerospace and defense. MPWR is a beast. MPWR is a leader in the semi space. I just bought HUD as a reclaim of VWAP. Very simple. We've been talking about this entry tactic a lot lately. You get the morning push, you get the failure, stops everybody out, and then you break back above VWAP, and then your stop is low of day. Really, really straightforward entry tactic, and then you go on to have a really nice push all day. Why did it have a really nice push? Because other of these data center, like young data center names, were acting well. TSEM, yeah, this one just kind of keeps grinding higher and now gapping up into highs. I don't really buy new merchandise going into earnings. If I own it, I just let it work, and usually I'm already trimmed up on it. Right? That's the key for me. You had to have already owned it for a handful of days and be trimmed up on it, and then just let it work. Well, technically, HUD is gapping up over this over these wicks at the moment. It's at $63 right now, so it is gapping up above that. But I'm not really, again, CJ, I've been mentioning it. I'm not really buying breakouts right now. You want to buy as close as you can to this ascending moving average, so you can limit your risk and keep your stop super tight. All right, it's the same thing. Rocket Lab's not breaking out, but if you bought it through the 20, that's fine. KTOS isn't breaking out, but you could have bought it over prior day highs to bounce off the 20. Cypher is not a breakout, but you could have bought the reclaim through the 50 and been looking pretty good. You'd already be up 10% plus on your position. That's all that really matters. The group was acting well yesterday, so you have to have like kind of an alternative way to enter some of these things where you keep risk to, nothing, right? You're risking 35 cents on the downside, but on the flip side, you're up $2, right? You're up 7-1 on your money same day. Joby Archer, they really haven't gotten moving, right? Like this is Joby. You just kind of got to leave it alone until we see some more momentum. Gapping up this morning, but not very impressed. Archer, even worse. Living below the 200. No good. FOMC at 2 p.m. BTU. I mean, BTU was buyable down here as a low cheat. I think up here, I don't know about that. I don't know about that. AXTI as an opening range? I don't think so. This stock literally just went from a nice breakout, went up 370%, could use a new base. When something goes up this much, 900%, I mean, really from April, it's up 2,000%. Yeah, it just needs a whole new base. APLD was, I tried buying it a few days ago, thinking it would get going. It didn't get going. And then I really should have bought it on Friday. Yeah, it looks good. Not buyable anymore up here. Too far gone. CAMT. Now, this is nice. Not too extended, I don't think. A little bit. Man, a couple more days here. Oh, but we're gapping up. What the hell? 156. I'm not chasing the gap up. I want price to trade through my level. I mean, we're trading 156 right now, so it looks good, but can't play it anymore. Not on a gap up like that. VICR, there's nothing really I can do with VICR. There's no setup here. There's no setup. It's extended from the 50. There's nothing to do. PL is fine. I mean, I don't really think it's buyable here anymore. Maybe yesterday. I do like Sienna. I like CIEN. I like LITE. I like AAOI. Not bad. They're not bad. When would RR look good to me? When it sets up and builds a tight day. But yesterday wasn't it. Sup V looks good. Unfortunately, just too thin. Yeah, Sup V not bad. I mean, you'll even notice that this looks a lot like this GGAL too. These things are all just setting up with Argentina ETF. Yeah, I don't mind Jazz, but it needs some strength here soon. Otherwise, what are we doing? Nice gap up on earnings. Hasn't done a single thing, since it gapped up on earnings. Going to need some momentum in it, very soon. Thoughts on SLS? Feels like it's just wildly thin, right? Is that right to say that? 20 million bucks a day, maybe 50 million bucks a day. Yeah, I mean, I don't mind the way it's surfing. It's 20. How the hell do we get involved in that thing if you wanted it? Maybe over a prior day high, I guess, as a breakout. Not bad. A little extended, though, from the 50, I would assume. Yeah, a little bit. Yeah, A-Lab finally getting going off the 50-day. Nice to see. No, that's not how I would do it, personally. So if you wanted 20% in a stock, add roughly 7% position size for every 2% advance in the stock. That's not how I would do it, because you're just bringing up your cost basis and you're adding just as much as your original position. So you're kind of bringing up your cost basis a little quickly. And the way you have to think about ads, at least the way I do, is if you're adding here, would you be comfortable adding here? And do you have a spot where you're going to exit in case you're wrong? And would you be adding here as if you didn't own the position at all? If the answer is yes, then you can add more. If the answer is, oh, it's just up another 2%, so therefore I want to add, right? That's not really good. You want to add in a spot where you think there can be, action that gets price away from your entry as quickly as possible, right? That's like the goal for every trader is take an entry where price moves very quickly away from your entry, right? That allows you to hold it, with the least amount of stress. He doesn't know. I think what he also means by wild horses, yeah, it's not going to be the SLSs, and it's not going to be low floats usually, and it's not going to be stocks that have wide ranges, right? When he talks about wild horses, he means wide ranges, and he wants something trading with a volatility contraction pattern before he gets in. Yeah, URA. I mean, URA looks good. CCJ, your leader. UEC right there. DNN another. CHYM. Not bad. Not bad. I mean, is it possible to sneak in just over a prior day high? 27.10? Maybe. Yeah, emerging markets are doing great. EEM, EWZ. Oh, yeah. Brazil's killing it. Colombia. I mean, look at this. Just absolutely crushing it. Should be interesting to see, though. If the dollar bounces, obviously, these emerging markets would get hit. And the dollar is getting a slight little bounce. Now, GSAP feels like a little bit of a laggard. How much percentage of my portfolio do you risk per trade? Less than 1%. Oftentimes, fractions of 1%. You should never be risking percentage of your portfolio per trade. NVT's on my watch list, Gavin. I think this thing looks pretty good. Not bad. Maybe taking out that Tuesday's highs, 116. Billy also looks very decent. Yeah, a little too much gapping around here for Billy for me to be able to take it, right? I mean, look, gap up and then now another gap up. So not really one I could take. This thing has just effectively been straight up, no real consolidation. Thoughts on Starbucks? What is the trigger point in an undercut and rally? Well, you want to undercut a prior left side low, and then you're looking for a reclaim on the 5-minute chart and a 620 setup. That's it. I don't know if I would treat this Starbucks as an EP, but really nice to see. Instead of like playing Starbucks as an EP, just let it trade all day long, let it give you a high volume close, and then you could just play it as an HVC setup instead. Probably better in this environment for now until you see more stock sticking. PAGs, I mean, what's the entry here, right? It's up 5 days in a row or 6 days in a row. You don't plan on buying this, do you? Tesla has earnings coming up. I want to say they're today. So, what can you do? ConocoPhillips, I mean, fine. This looks pretty good. The other one that I think looks interesting is Fang. I thought yesterday for Fang looked pretty neat. I I think DVN is starting to turn up as well. I think, I mean, these things look good. VLO, fine, just continues to digest here. What else do we have? We have SLB. This continues to hold in there pretty well. Oil services continues to be a super strong group. And for now, I just have XOM. And it's amazing. XOM is just fantastic. Fang's a little choppy, but that's normally how they start out, right? XOM was also really choppy in here till ultimately things get nice and strong. And you'll notice a pickup in volume. There will be nice accumulation, and then the thing will go from choppy to fantastic. Right? That's kind of how it goes. All right, guys, much love. Trade them well today. FOMC on deck. Have a great rest of your trading day. I will see you guys bright and early tomorrow morning. Talk to you soon. Later. All right, Ivan, have a good one, brother.